Rana says, I've heard that you should focus on input at the beginning of learning English, and that's what I'm doing. But I hear some people say, no, you should speak even if you're a beginner. I'm a bit confused. Okay, so I want you to think about the way that you've learned anything in your life, whether it's a skill, something that you are very knowledgeable about. When you learned that thing, did you have a lot of input and then you had output? Or did you have input and output as part of a continuous cycle? For most things that you learn, you have input and output as part of a continuous cycle. Let's say middle school, high school. Let's say you take calculus in high school. Did you, in calculus, when you took calculus, whether it's junior high, I don't know when people take calculus. I can't remember when I took calculus. Might have been 7th grade? I don't know. Did you take the whole year of calculus by sitting here and listening to the teacher, watching the blackboard, and then at the end of the year, you finally did some stuff with it? Is that how it went? No, of course not. Every day, at the end of each lesson, the teacher said, okay, and your assignment, your homework assignment for today is do 10 problems with this and 20 problems with that. Why do you have to do those problems when you're just a beginner? Well, because if you do it step by step, you're continually improving so that you can achieve the next step. If you were to not practice and just listen, you wouldn't really get it. And by the time you're at 6 months into your calculus class, you don't have the ability to understand what's going on. But if you've gone step by step and you've done homework every day up to that point, you really get it because you've done 30 problems, 40 problems every single day up until then. So you get it. You have that skill, the ability to do all of the calculus that you need up to that point. So when you learn the new thing, you can do it. You can learn it. It doesn't overwhelm you. Well, that's just a simple example, but that's the case for most things. The Olympics were just on. Those people jumping off of diving boards or doing flips on the floor, that's a physical skill, but it's not that different in the way that we learn. They didn't watch the instructor or the coach do flips for 6 months and then say, okay, now finally I've seen all the flips, let's begin. No, they started getting comfortable with the jump and then stretching along the way. I don't know what gymnasts have to do, but it's a gradual step-by-step thing where you have this continuous loop. It's a continuous cycle. Learn, practice, learn, practice, learn, practice, learn, practice, learn, do, learn, do, learn, do. Input and output happening simultaneously. And it's the output part which allows you to then go to the next level of the input part. Because if it's all input, really making progress because it's practice that allows you to build the habits to gain the new skill. And so by the time you have the input at a very advanced level, you can't understand it. I don't even have the flexibility to do that backflip that you're doing, right? Because I haven't been stretching and practicing along the way. So in fact, it's necessary to start speaking English right at the very beginning. Even if it's very uncomfortable, even if you can't speak a lot. And this has been validated to me over and over and over again with English learners that I've seen learning in different ways. The ones who say, I need to get ready first, I need to learn 1,000 words first, 10,000 words first, I need to master idioms first, I need to watch a bunch of courses with grammar first, I need to do all of this stuff first, and then I'm going to start practicing. Absolutely not. You have to be practicing every step of the way. So for example, the course that I just launched, it's all about, okay, here's how you do it, and then let's do it together. So I'll say a sentence and then leave a space for you to say the same sentence with me. Immediate practice. It's very important to do that because if you don't have that output part, then you'll never be able to get the next thing. You'll never be able to reach the higher level, or at least it will be much more difficult. And as you go, you're also building confidence. You're building habits. A lot of stuff is happening when you do output. So I would say 100%, even if you don't feel very confident, you should be speaking in some way, even if that's sitting down and recording yourself and listening back to the recording, even if that's having a chat with your friend who's not a native English speaker but wants to work on his or her English, even if that's doing some writing exercises, doing some exercises in general, to constantly have output, because that is how people learn things. That is how the human brain and the body is able to pick up new skills and absorb the next most difficult thing and the next most difficult thing. So, Rana, I hope that answers your question, and I hope you start output immediately, as soon as possible, starting today. Okay? And keep learning, but also output. If you're learning vocabulary, make sure you're writing down 3 or 4 sentences with each vocabulary word that you learn. Use it. Practice it. Okay? Very important. Guys, if you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and also check out my full courses in the links in the description.